Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future for May 2023, answering the question, what do you need to know right now? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall oracle cards and clarified those. I've also pulled the overall theme for the reading and clarified that with a completely separate tarot deck. There will be 3 tarot decks in this reading. I've already shuffled the deck that we'll be using in this reading and then the decks that we'll be using in the extended, as well as I've got this little clarifying guy just in case I need them. I'm mixing things up a little bit this week, but I've liked the way they've gone so far. So any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Capricorn. Your recent past. So basically what I'm seeing with this reading is you're coming to the end of a pretty intense cycle, and it's what I like to call a resistance cycle. And I'll talk more about what that means in a second. But in your recent past, you have a time for healing with the World card. This cycle, it's been holding you back, and you've been working through it for a while now. And I feel like it's one of those cycles where you feel like you're taking a couple of steps forward and then you're like shot backwards. It just feels like you can't get a leg up on life. Like it just feels like you're constantly, trying to move forward, and then life kind of pulls you back. Now, one of the craziest things that you learn on a spiritual journey is that we as human beings actually resist our own abundance, because our ego likes control, and our ego likes when things are predictable and when they feel familiar. And so our ego will stick to cycles that are painful, because painful cycles are aligned with that predictability and familiarity that your ego looks for. And so breaking out of those cycles is how you break out of your resistance to your abundance. Now, in your current energy, you have meditate and contemplate with the star. I mean, the star is is a card for healing for me. And then this meditate and contemplate card is about like processing. And I feel like you're in an energy of really processing a lot of emotion, and like intense emotion and intense kind of like just energy in general. Now, remember, the closer you get to the end of a cycle, which you absolutely are coming up to the end, on the end of a cycle here, the harder things will feel, the more intense everything will feel, the heavier things will feel, the more confused you'll be. And so if you're feeling like that right now, know that that is intentional, because you are coming to the end of closing out a cycle. And I see that because in your immediate future, you have take time to breathe out with the 9 of Wands. And so what I'm kind of seeing this message as, this is the end of a cycle that you're approaching. And so what I'm seeing this as is like, make sure that you are, taking this time, like taking time to breathe out. Like make sure you're taking time for yourself to like chill out a little bit, because the intensity in this energy it's heavy. And I can feel it just kind of in my own body, just tapping into the energy. So I can only imagine what it's like for you. Now, I thought this message was really cool because this resistance card came out, and then this 5 of Wands in reverse came out, which is literally my card for releasing resistance. And so what I'm seeing is like the overall theme for this reading is you working through your resistance to your own abundance. And we'll talk more about that throughout this reading. But I just thought that it was really cool how these messages came through. But let's start, Capricorn, by looking at your recent past. You have a time for healing with the World card. What does Capricorn need to know about their recent past? Okay. This is for Capricorn's recent past, please. A time for healing with the World card. Is there anything else? There it is. Okay. 8 of Pentacles in reverse, King of Swords, and the 5 of Cups. You've been stuck in a pretty like disappointing energy. Not that your energy is disappointing, but you've been stuck in disappointment. Because I feel like, again, it just feels like you can't break out of some sort of a cycle, of some sort of an energy. Now, with this King of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, it's not that you haven't been working at it. It's that you've been starting to doubt that the outcome is going to happen. Like, it's like you're having a hard time seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like that's been kind of on purpose because, like I said, the closer you get to the end of a cycle, the more that the universe, like, I don't like this word, but I haven't yet thought of a better way to say this. Like, the more the universe tests you, because you learn a lot in a cycle. And when you get to the end of a cycle, that's where you have the opportunity to either close it or repeat it. And so the end of a cycle is where you're kind of tested. You're what you learned has been put to the test. Now, it's not a test in the sense for the energy where you can, like, it's not like a pass or fail. It's either you're ready to break the cycle or you need to repeat it to learn the lesson. And that's just where you are at that moment, and there's no shame attached to that. So it's not like, I don't like the word test because it has a that implies that you can fail, right? And I think that, failing, closing out a cycle is just what life is all about, learning the lessons you need to learn. So I just feel like as you're coming to the end of this, the biggest thing that this message is saying is have this awareness that a lot of things from your past, like recent past or even maybe more distant, like in the past couple of years, are probably going to come back up. And it's for the purpose of seeing if you are going to handle it differently this time. So keep that in mind. All right, recent past for Capricorn. There's the Five of Wands in reverse. Look at that. You're working through resistance. Because everything in you is going to want to repeat a cycle. Because that is, again, what is familiar to you and what is natural for you. But your soul wants you to break this cycle and to move forward in a healthier way for yourself, and in a way that's going to align more with your soul instead of with your ego. And your ego, I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Your ego is there to protect you. It's our protection mechanism, but you don't want to let it control you. So as you're approaching the end of this cycle, because your recent past has been heavy. I mean, you've been in this heavy energy. So as you approach this, understand that yes, the intensity is probably getting a little bit heavier, but that's because it's the whole darkest before dawn thing, right? That's what this kind of feels like. All right, recent past for Capricorn. Three of Wands. You're really outside of your comfort zone right now. And you have been in some way, shape, or form. I want more on this with the Three of Wands and the Page of Wands. Your recent past, I feel like, was dealing with a lot of discomfort. Like a lot of feeling some pretty negative emotions. And there's the Queen of Wands in reverse with the Nine of Wands in reverse. It just feels like you're hitting and facing so many obstacles right now that it's weighing on you. But these obstacles, or especially in your recent past, but these obstacles are helping you work through the resistance, because when an obstacle arises, you're going to want to give up and fall back to old habits, into old cycles, into what's familiar and what you have control over. But the obstacles of trying to get you to where you're trying to go, it's when we are trying to manifest something in our life, we have to align with the vibration of that thing. And we do that by raising our own vibration. We raise our own vibration by learning what we need to learn and becoming who we need to be to attract whatever it is that we want, because we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. So when you're facing obstacles, those obstacles are literally trying to help you. Now that's why you have this Nine of Wands, because usually, because we just saw the Nine of Wands in reverse for the obstacles, but the closer you get to the end of a cycle, the more obstacles you tend to have to experience. Current energy for Capricorn, clarifying, meditate, and contemplate with the Star. Current energy for Capricorn, clarifying, meditate, and contemplate with the Star, please. Nine of Cups, the Three of Cups in reverse, and the Ten of Swords in reverse. Things haven't been going your way, Capricorn. I don't think that they have for a while. Now, it doesn't mean that you haven't made any progress. It just feels like it's like, again, it's like that 2 steps forward, and then it feels like you take like 5 steps back. And it's not that you are, it's that's what that feels like. Like, it feels like you can't make any progress because maybe you're always catching up, or every time you do make progress, you hit a setback. Like, it just feels like it's this like, I mean, and what that is facing the resistance, right? Resistance to your own abundance. The more that you break through it, the harder it's going to try to come back. And sometimes it'll sweep you off your feet, but you get back up and you keep on going. And that's just kind of how it goes. So you're in an energy right now of needing to make sure that you have a good awareness of what's going on, a higher level awareness of what's going on, making sure you're recognizing that this is the end of a cycle, that obstacles are going to occur, and they're occurring to help you get to where you're trying to go, to help you work through the resistance. Current energy for Capricorn. Current energy for Capricorn, please. Okay, so you haven't received yet. And the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is like this energy of like, will this ever pay off? Will I ever get there? Will I ever have what it is that I want to have? And it's really, I mean, it's a lack mindset. Now, we all have lack mindsets because people who have experienced lack in their life, lack of love, lack of financial abundance, lack of success, whatever it is, they're going to internalize that that is how life goes, or what is meant for them, or whatever the case is. And therefore, it's not your fault that you have beliefs in alignment with, lack. It's what you've experienced, and how you've internalized that, and that's not your fault. It is, however, your responsibility, if you want to see changes in your life, to tap into those beliefs and try to get to the bottom of, okay, where are these stemming from? What is it that I need to address? And how can I move forward in a way that is going to help me reframe and restructure these beliefs? Because that's why you have this meditate and contemplate. You got to get to the root of the resistance. What part of you is resisting your abundance, and why? Do you not feel deserving? Do you not feel capable? Do you not feel like it's meant for you? What part of you is resisting what it is that you're ultimately wanting? Current energy for Capricorn, please. Current energy for Capricorn. There's a Seven of Cups. Yeah, you are feeling so overwhelmed right now. And then you have this Hangman. There is this need, Capricorn, to just surrender to it. Accept that you are where you are right now, and it's not going to change until you let it. And you let it change by surrendering to it. Surrendering is not giving up. Surrendering is letting go and giving it to the universe, to spirit, to the divine, to your higher self, to God, whoever, whatever higher power resonates the most with you. Surrendering is not, it's not giving up. It's actually the opposite. It is giving up, but it's giving up your control and your ego's version of how you think things should go, instead of how things should actually go, so they can actually fall into place for you. And that is what you're experiencing right now, is this need to just let go, because you are in such a heavy energy, and the more that you fight it, and the more that you try to make sense of it, or really fight it, like that's what it comes down to, like fight facing it, or try to just force yourself through it. The only way over it is through it, and the only way through it is to surrender to it. And so there's this need to kind of just let go and understand that this is going to pass, this energy is going to pass. And it's kind of that concept of like, don't try to calm the storm, calm yourself, the storm will pass. Like, you're in a healing energy, you're working through resistance, and resistance is a hard freaking thing to work through. We resist our own abundance, and the more that we realize that and recognize that, the more that we can open ourselves up to receiving it by being willing to surrender to the times like what you're in right now. All right, immediate future for Capricorn. You take time to breathe out with the 9 of Wands. Advice for Capricorn's immediate future. 4 of Swords. It's more of the same, meditate and contemplate. You know, it's interesting because we just saw this 10 of Wands with this message with the 7 of Cups and this Hangman. And then now you have it in reverse. And it's like you've been carrying this burden of like, well, you know what? I actually want to clarify it because it feels like it's like a burden of fear or just this heaviness. I don't know really what this heaviness is, and I feel like it's going to be different for everyone considering this is a general reading, but it feels just so intense. Let me get more here. There's the Temperance in reverse. I mean, it's the fact that you're starting to lose hope. You're losing hope because nothing has progressed, nothing's moved forward. But if you, and this is one of the biggest and most important aspects of manifestation, is being so certain that it's going to happen for you that you are grateful for it before it even arrives. And when you have that level of certainty, these obstacles like what you're facing now, they don't affect you as much. Now, you're always going to face obstacles. You're always going to have setbacks. It's part of the whole journey. But the more that you can embrace that they're, first and foremost, always going to be part of the journey. And second of all, that they're helping you get there by teaching you what you need to learn to get through them. The more that you can look at the bigger picture and say, when you're going through times like this and say, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Say, what is this trying to teach me? Because that will help you move toward the end of the cycle and move through and close this out so much easier than just trying to resist it. Immediate future for Capricorn. It's always darkest before dawn, Capricorn. A lot of good is going to come of this. I really believe that. Immediate future for Capricorn. The Hermit in reverse. Okay. With the 9 of Swords in reverse. I want more on this because the Hermit in reverse is like almost to me kind of like these cards right here are like depression, anxiety. Like this could be severely affecting your mental health. This energy that you're in. And I can definitely gather that from stars on the bottom of the deck, from what's going on here. You know, I really feel like, well, hang on. Let me see what this is alluding to. So we've got kind of depression and anxiety going on here. Just mental health, just a rain cloud. A dark, heavy rain cloud here. Slowly but surely. Okay, so here you are, Capricorn. Queen of Pentacles, whether you're male or female. Slowly but surely, you are working through some of the darkest parts of your mind. And that's going to come with a heaviness. But the heaviness, it exists so that you can eventually see the light. Like, you can't have the light without the dark. You can't have the good without the bad. You can't have the happiness without the not so happy. That's the balance of life. If you were happy all of the time, you would not even recognize that you were happy or appreciate it for what it was, because you wouldn't even know, because you always are, right? You always are happy. So you wouldn't really realize it. So when you're going through hard times and you're experiencing the darkness and experiencing this heaviness like you are right now, look at it from the perspective of, this is temporary. This is teaching me something that is going to help me further along on my journey. And all I need to do is let go and trust the universe and trust the process. Because the more that you can internalize that mindset, the easier life gets. And, you know, life is always full of challenges, but it's about how we handle those that makes up our quality of life. And right now, you're in an energy of facing some pretty heavy challenges. And the only way that you're going to be able to get through them is to get through them. And that's probably not what you want to hear. You want to hear that everything's going to change and all of this good is coming your way and blah, blah, blah. And those things are true. Absolutely, those things are true. But facing the reality of where you're at right now and knowing that there is a heaviness, there is a darkness, there is a lot of energy you're having to work through right now, and letting go and leaning on a higher power, whatever that looks like to you, God, universe, spirit, divine, leaning on that will help you in ways that will help you, which will push you forward in ways that you wouldn't be able to if you didn't work through this. So try to look at it as a blessing in disguise. Try. Okay. Immediate future for Capricorn. Immediate future for Capricorn, please. For Capricorn's immediate future. Ooh. It's an emotional energy. But here's the trick. Don't let your emotions trick you into believing they are telling you a truth. When you are feeling overwhelmed and exhausted and frustrated and beat down and all of that, feel that way. Absolutely, you give yourself permission to feel that way. But don't believe that it's saying you're never going to get out of this. Things are never going to change. You're never going to progress. You're never going to move forward. You're going to fail. Everything's going to come to an end. Whatever it is, don't believe that. Try to embrace the journey, embrace the process. Life is a journey. It's not about the destination, right? And understand that you are working through a lot of deep-seated resistance. And that resistance is going to come with emotion and fear and anxiety and insecurity and all of it, all of the not so good feeling stuff. But when you can get that out, you open up space and create space for the good feeling stuff. All right, Capricorn. I know there's a bit of a heavy reading, but I do hope that it helped and resonated with you. We're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to try to pull a little bit more advice as well as an advice card, a specific advice card that I'll put the end and then clarify these messages too. So thank you so much, Capricorn, for your support of my channel. It does mean the absolute world to me. As I mentioned, I hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you are needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Capricorn.